Okay, so pressure. What does pressure have to do with regulation? Well, I'm going to start by showing you what the snowman here is all about. Okay, so the snowman in our discussion today is representing the core of the body. So from here to here, we have cavities that make up the core of the body and that contain all our important organs and blood vessels and nerves. And the first one is the head. The next one is our thoracic cavity, and the lowest one down here is the abdominal cavity. So what we're going to be talking about today is pressure regulation within these different cavities and how the pressures within the three cavities relate to each other and are organized. So the fundamental concept that we're talking about today is, in order to have a regulated pressure, like atmospheric pressure or pressure inside a room or a cavity, the first thing that you need is this, a boundary. You need a boundary that contains the pressures. So, for instance, if I do this, and I put lots of unpredictable holes in this boundary, what is going to happen to the pressure that's inside? The pressure is going to go down, obviously. So we need to have a stable boundary. Is the first thing that we need in order to regulate pressure. So what we're going to talk about next is, what are these? What are these boundaries in our snowman here? What makes up the boundaries of these cavities in our body? So I will start us off here. This one, the abdominal cavity, one of the things that it's made out of is a lot of abdominal musculature, right? Erectus abdominis, transversus, internal and external obliques, these things are making up the boundaries of this bubble or cavity here. And there are lots of other things. So what are they? Let's start sharing together and coming up with and thinking about what these boundaries are made out of.
So what about pelvic floor?
Absolutely. So pelvic floor, right here, very important part of the boundary.
About diaphragm.
Awesome. Diaphragm is really important in our work, and it's a very interesting one because it's a boundary for this one, the abdominal cavity, and this one, thoracic.
What about the spine?
Spine. Well, the spine, I guess it does make some of the boundary up. That's true. Spine.
What about the ribs?
And the ribs. Yep. So we've got spine and ribs. It's awesome. I haven't really thought about those, but bony structures do make up boundaries. I'm going to throw another one out here. What's up here? It's an area of the body we call the thoracic inlet. So this opening here between the head and the thoracic cavity, that's made out of a lot of different muscles, and there are lots of blood vessels and nerves passing through it. Any other thoughts?
So is the skull one too?
Yeah, the skull. And then what? There are some openings in the skull. What are those, some of those openings? Because it's important to think about openings that might be in our
Sinuses?
awesome sinuses. And what about,
Maybe soft spot.
yep, soft spot. And then there's some other muscles in this one. because we have bones, we have muscles, intercostals. Awesome. Okay. So those are a lot of the pieces, and the thing that's really key to think about, especially with there being some holes like the sinuses and things like the diaphragm and the pelvic floor, which are flexible and made out of muscle, and we can make changes in these boundaries and adapt the boundaries to help regulate the pressure inside. So this is what we're going to be thinking about today as we talk about pressure regulation.